Modern MMA rules are just here to protect the strikers from the grapplers. Now, in the last couple of years, you see more and more striking, and many people seem to think that striking starts to, like pick up the pace against grappling, but it's actually just because of rules. Because in the all-time rules, there was no reps, no time limit, no rounds, no stand-ups, just you and I, and whoever gives up or cannot continue fighting loses. That's MMA, that's vale-tudo, that's actual fighting. But what happened then is that strikers did not stand a single chance. Because all I need as a grappler is one singular takedown, one. So I take you down once and I will not let you escape. All of your boxing and kickboxing is now rendered useless for the remaining part of the fight. And it may very well take half an hour to grind you out. I will not take a single risk. I will just be on top of you, like slowly, like beating the meat, to cook, bam, bam, bam. I'll just cook you out, I'll just grind you out, and I will win 100%. Because what will you do? Will you accidentally stand up? You will not. Will I get tired? I will not. Because I'm on top. So there's nothing realistically that could stop me except like a meteorite shooting right through my skull. But now in comes your best friend and lifesaver, Mr. Striker, the referee who saves your butt from me. Because like after a maximum of 5 minutes, he's coming at me like, like Peter, you gotta let him go, look at him all tired and messed up, let him go, let him stand up, sit on his little chair for a minute and take a good deep breath and rest. And I'm like, man, that's stupid, I got him under control. Let me finish him. It's like, no, let him take a break. And you know what? After that 1 minute, guess where you guys be starting again? Standing up. That's right, standing up. You gotta box all over again. So it's clearly favoring strikers over grapplers to have rounds, 100%, because you always start standing again and again and again and again. Okay, so I need to take him down and finish within 5 minutes. And most strikers couldn't knock you out or finish you within 5 minutes. But they got another perfect chance standing up again. Okay, always. They stand up, they start in their distance, they can set up their boxing again. So it's clearly favoring strikers. Also, if you are inactive on the floor, if you are not active enough, so if he's stalling, he's just holding on to dear life, like he's almost falling from a cliff and he knows he gonna be dead if he lets me move, So he's holding on, he's stalling, and then the ref is like, oh, I see he's holding on, and he's trying to not do anything and not let anything happen. You know what? I will save his butt. Peter, let go of him. You guys gotta stand up again. Forget about your grappling. You have to start striking again. But never in the time there would be, if there's a snooze fest standing up, and the referee would never come and say, you guys, your boxing sucks. Get on the floor and start grappling. No, it's always, if it doesn't work quick enough, start striking again. And then striking in itself is weak. Like I'm a grappler, all I need is just my own body. But those strikers, they can't even properly strike. So the rules come and say, you know what? Because the strikers would hurt their PV hands, we allow them to wrap their hands so they can punch harder with less regard for their own safety. And because that's not enough, they would still hurt their knuckles on your skull, we'll also let them use gloves. So they can, like, without any regard for their own safety or any proper training and conditioning of their hands, they can just throw the punches as hard as they want to. And on top of that, it will also make your grappling more difficult. Because like my hand is sweaty and it will easily slip into almost anything. But with the gloves it's much more difficult. But even if I don't want to, I have to wear the gloves. Because like even with all those time limits and rounds, maybe the striker would still have no chance against the grappler. So we have to allow him to wear wraps and gloves so he can punch much harder than he naturally could, and would give him a huge advantage in his chosen style, as much as if I as a grappler would be allowed to like carry a piece of rope with me to wrap around him and choke him better or hold him better, you know, like to tie him up. But I'm not allowed that. It's only the striker who is allowed to have like all those neat little tools and neat little rule changes for him to allow him to implement much more striking, because that's what they want to see. You know, it's not about who's the best fighter. Mostly it's about getting people to watch. And honestly, I don't even watch grappling, you know. I don't watch the Jiu-Jitsu World Championship. I wanted to watch it, but honestly, so I'm not joking, I fell asleep. I watch boxing, it's cool. I wouldn't want to, you know, much actively box because I need to save my last brain cells that I have. But grappling is just much more fun to do, to train, to fight in it, and it's much more important to me in a real fight, because luckily in most fights, you know, there's not somebody coming at you in a couple seconds and standing you up. So yeah, grappling is actually much more effective, much more efficient than striking in an unarmed combat 1 versus 1. But the modern MMA rules just are actively and consciously designed to see more striking and to unfairly be biased towards striking and allow the strikers to strike more. Well, now let the whining begin, you know, tell me all about it. Write mean comments or whatever you like, but you have to admit it's true. If not, fight me without wraps, without gloves, without time limit, and we'll see.